yeah, so let's work on this rear end. Plan for this episode is to get the rear end out, get the other one in, and have a 5-lug swapped hard body. Got the drive shaft out, got the e-brake, parking brake cables undone. Got all the bolts on the leaf springs soaking in PB Blaster. Hopefully it makes it easier to undo. God only knows with this truck because it's been hit and miss either way. Got the taillight harness out of the way so we can start getting measurements on the support for the link bars once we get the rear end in. The link bar measurements and stuff will probably happen for too much longer too. Went to get metal today and he didn't have any 2x3 by 3/16 in stock, so he's ordered it for me. I should have some of that later this week. And then once we get the link bars and measurements and stuff for it, we can get the link bars ordered. We can get that other rear end cleaned up and go from there. So I'm going to get this set up and go with it from there. Something else we're going to work on this episode is going to be boxing in those upper control arms. So there'll be some of that at some point in this video. So I'm working on the boxing in the control arms. I got it set up. I started cutting this one, got this one off, started doing this one, realized I need to record. I've been really bad about that lately, about working on stuff and getting it going. Other side is done. It's out in the driveway at the moment on some cardboard getting painted. Well, I say getting painted, drying, because I've already painted it. I'm going to set up time lapse, you guys to see this. Basically, I'm going to attach a link in the bottom. Jacob Rode's got a great example on how to do this. But basically what we're going to do, we're going to go trim up this lip right here. And then we've got the template where you actually set it on here on the side. And it tells you where you need to keep and what you need to cut. Same one for both sides. And then you come back in and basically take a straight edge and mark where you need it here or on the inside, cut it, and then weld it all in. So that's what we're gonna do. I'll get it set up on time lapse and I'll give you guys a show on what's going on. I bet that was riveting, wasn't it? I know on my end of it was. No, it's not too bad. I move around a lot trying to fit that good angle on things. So this is in here, as you guys just saw. That's the piece that you box in with. And what you got to go in and do, or what I'm going to end up going in and doing now, I'm going to take and I'm going to clean these edges up. As you can see, there's already a little mark right here. And that's from me setting the... Oh, it's upside down. I say that. See, that's one side, the other side. You got to find that happy medium. So as you can see, it sticks up the back. What I end up doing, at least what I did on the other one, I'll tack it in place. and as I get closer, I'll take and knock it down. I'm not gonna bore you guys anymore with that stuff. I'll get it all tacked in and welded in, and then I'll show you the results. And there's the finished product. Wasn't too bad to get in. Obviously my welding and grinding skills need some work. You can see kind of with the way the shadows are. It had penetration, everything's in good. I mean, it was so good that I made a little hole right there so exhaust could come out. Yeah. So this one is welded up, the other one's done. It's been sitting out paint or drying from paint. I'm gonna get this one prepped and ready to go and get them back on the truck. So we've got the axle out. That was an experience in itself. Yeah, thanks. We got it down. Cut the U-bolts, and even with it jacked up and jack stands under it and everything, it proceeded to slingshot itself and then lift it up. So I think what we figured out what we should have did was load it back up like we did initially and then cut them. But either way, it's out, or it's down, and we're gonna put it on the wheel dollies and we're gonna push it out of the way. I'm gonna set you guys up on time lapse so you can watch. Lug swap axle in the back.
No, it's not.
We'll be back in a minute. Go for it.
I may or may not weld the loose spring.
It's okay. So what we're ended up doing, hey look, creepy kid's staring again. Anyways, because the axle is smaller in diameter and the U-bolts are messed up, we're just welding the U-bolts to the spring plates, and I say spring plate, leaf spring plate. You can weld, it's fine.
Ready?
Yeah.
Eyes.
Anyways, he's doing that. We're gonna do both sides. We're gonna jack it up, and then we're gonna put the leaf spring, or the U-bolts that decided they wanted to slingshot earlier. We're gonna weld those back together too. So it's all kinds of Mickey Mouse stuff going on here. All right, so change of plans. We didn't do what we had it set up for. Long story short, it was preloading. We were gonna have to preload it like we did initially. So we just went ahead and cut those U-bolts off, all that stuff you guys saw, or didn't, I don't know. And we just put the jack up under it, lifted it up. I stabilized it. Eddie went ahead and welded the U-bolts back together. Kind of half. Yeah, I can't use that word. We just pulled the drive shaft, got it as tight in there as we could. The center portion of the, let me walk over here, and I'll show you, because I've got this other piece that I needed off the Toyota one. Oh, so now I know why. So this little O thing, I can't do it and point at the same time. This thing my thumb's on the Toyota axle is thinner than what the Nissan drive shaft is. So the next step is to get the, wow, I wasn't even paying attention to where I was pointing. That U-joint into the drive shaft and bolt it up to get all that part at least going. The next step for this, I'm going to pull the leaf springs off, get them out of the way, and we're gonna get the wheels on to see how it looks, because I haven't seen this truck with a full set of wheels on it since we changed the front hubs. So I'm gonna set the camera up, we're gonna set it on time lapse and go with it from there. All right, so you guys just saw it. We pulled it out on all 4 of the same wheels. First time it's had 4 of the same wheel on it since February. Yeah, February, March, sometime in there when I finally started working on everything. There it is. I'll lay it out here in a minute so we can see how it all looks. Back here, like what I was saying, we got the axle in. It's somewhat centered. With this offset, man, that's a tight one. With the 1.5 inch narrower axle, and then with the offset of the wheels being a plus 38, I mean, Escalade wheels I think are a plus 30, so I mean 8mm isn't going to do a whole lot difference. I think a lot of this is that axle being 1.5 inches narrower, but it's there. It's I got a ratchet right there. That was from Bentley when we were up under there removing the wiring harness. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and let this air out and see how it looks. Oh man, that looks so much better, especially with being able to get that back down and it's not all nose down looking like it's trying to do yoga with the downward facing dog or whatever that thing's called. But I can't thank her enough because she hates getting her hands dirty, and she's been out here with me on this a lot lately. And Eddie, as you guys will see, Eddie is here all the time too. Eddie has been a big push. Micah. But they all have been big helps with me on this. But yeah, thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time.